Hi everybody. If you've been watching me at all, you know that I'm super passionate about talking about masculine and feminine energy, the balancing of the both within the self to create this beautiful, harmonious dance between the hemispheres of the brain. I like to call it becoming bihemispheric. Today I want to talk about this concept. It's more of a spiritual concept called the divine feminine. I want to kind of demystify what this means to be a divine feminine. What is a divine feminine? What's a divine feminine versus a regular feminine? What the heck does this mean? So for those of you who do not know my history, and you can actually go back onto my YouTube channel a little bit and see a little bit of the journey and how I describe some of the phenomenon that I experienced with a particular catalytic relationship that I had in my life, which opened some doors to some mystical concepts that aren't really too prevalent amongst the real world of people. And maybe for good reason, but there has been a lot that has come out of this connection for me. And in fact, it catalyzed all of my work, I'm happy to say. It did, there was a lot of suffering incurred in the beginning, but we all know that we need and can value suffering as a great catalyst for transformation and change. So obviously when we're in it, we don't love it. But I'm smart enough to know now that when it does arise, that there's also a lesson coming most often. It's nice to hold that dual perspective. Does help. So today I want to talk about and describe, I want to demystify the divine feminine, okay? First of all, let's be realistic. I think that if we were divine, totally and fully and awakened and enlightened to the degree that this word somehow emulates divine, we probably wouldn't be here on Earth. I like to call Earth school. I think it's a great place for us to learn and to evolve and to develop, and a great place for us to love and express who we are as human beings. So just in saying that, this concept or word divine feminine holds a lot of weight. So I just want to kind of explain that if you want to call yourself a divine feminine, that's fine with me. But to be real for myself and my own integrity, this is something that I work towards and work on, and it's a day-to-day process of me living amongst this world that's also very human, and me choosing the ways in which I can emulate and embody more of a healthy feminine energy. So for me, I'm just going to call this a healthy feminine energy. Okay? It seems a lot more real, although I love the mystical and I come from the mystical, it's my past. I also want to be very clear on what it takes to become this healthy feminine energy. So, why are we calling this a divine feminine energy? Because we live amongst a society that really values and prioritizes the patriarchal structure or the masculine energy over the feminine energy. And we all know that there have been many empowerment movements as of late, predominantly for the feminine energy, because what's actually happening is the woman has lived and has embodied what it means to have to operate more off of a masculine predominated structure, whether it be in their job, in their relationship, whether or not maybe they're a single mother, and they have to somehow embody and play amongst these both of these energies. And what happens is the masculine energy, and in particular for the female, the shadow masculine, starts to take hold and root. And unfortunately, what tends to happen is we become resentful, we become overwhelmed. Sometimes it's a slow buildup, and it's a cumulative effect of having to do things all on our own day in and day out, not having the option for the flow that we need as women within our job or life. It depends a lot on the energy of the partner that you're with. If you're with more of a passive masculine energy who hasn't really embodied his divine masculine or healthy masculine energy, it's going to put more pressure on the feminine because she doesn't have that structure and stability. She's going to be more in maybe a chaotic state of yin feminine energy, which then often, to compensate, she's got to go into this masculine energy, and it looks unhealthy, right? So this concept of embodying divine energy just simply, really, truly means a return to a state of balance within your feminine energy. It means honoring the aspects of your feminine energy. And you know that things always start in the mystical and then they work their way down the dimension chain into the three-dimensional reality. So over the last, several years, 10 more, a lot more lately, we're seeing these divine feminine groups and healing circles and women's circles and empowering women, empowering females, right? What I'm saying is a lot of what goes on amongst those meetings, I've been at some in my past as well, is beautiful. It's loving, it's supportive, it's surrendering. It's a place where we can really be real and express our needs without judgment. It's beautiful, but what we need to do is we need to take these healing circles and this energy, and we need to, number one, align and forgive and heal our own internal masculine energy. If you have hatred or resentment towards the masculine energy outside of you, whether it be with your partner, with your father, with men in the world, whether it be how institutions are run off of this more patriarchal program, if you're holding resentment towards the masculine energy, you cannot embody a healthy feminine energy. Healthy feminine energy is love and wisdom. Okay? It's not anger and resentment and blame and shame on other men or institutions or sometimes other women that embody this energy, right? So first, you have to heal your aspects of your own masculine energy. You cannot embody any divine feminine energy if you are resenting the masculine collective or even that energy, because a true healthy masculine energy has so much need and necessity in this world to embody strong masculine energy. It's how everything is built in this world. So we cannot be resentful towards that, all right? So to embody your healthy feminine energy, first you need to heal your masculine energy. That's number one, okay? And then what you need to do is start to embody the vision of taking the necessary steps to apply these concepts in your life. This is where you actually start to bring back in the aspects of the healthy masculine for your own growth and evolution. So you have to first become aware, who am I? Am I really actually claiming I'm a healthy feminine, but I'm living in more of a resentful masculine energy within myself? This will create imbalance, okay? So taking the necessary steps to figure out who you are, where your proclivities and tendencies are, be honest with yourself. If you've had to do it all and be the masculine energy and you do feel hatred and resentment towards the masculine, just admit that. Admit that feeling, because it is very predominant. But how do we move forward? We move forward by healing the energies within ourselves and then creating structures that are able to house this feminine energy alongside of the masculine energy. So this is what I believe is going on a lot in societal restructuring right now. And even in a weird, convoluted way with the woke culture. There, what's happening is the shadow has taken over so much that, again, it's presenting as anger and resentment in other ways. So it's kind of like the Kali energy. Let's just demolish everything and start fresh. Let's just knock everything down and everybody's awful and cancel everybody and start fresh. That's not my way of wanting to rebuild things, because I do see the value and honor a lot of the historical perspective of this masculine patriarchal energy. It's still necessary. It just doesn't need to be the only energy. That's the important part of this. We can't lead with just strictly feminine energy if it's not balanced within the masculine as well. Again, the feminine she lives more in the upper realms, right? So it has to be a coming down, a pulling down of the mystical aspects of the feminine and a rising up of the masculine energy, so these two can meet and dance and do what they're good at together. I know this sounds weird because it has to be done within the self first. And often when we work on becoming a divine feminine or a healthy feminine energy, we think it's contingent on having a right man or having the right environment. It's reverse. You create the right, proper inner environment for yourself first. Then what you do is make healthy choices with discernment on who you align with in your outside world. Okay? So again, a lot of what we've been experiencing has been kind of upside down. It's the world of the upside down. It's the inversion, right? So you find your alignment first. Embody your divine feminine. The divine feminine is a woman who's in balance with her right and left hemisphere of her brain. She no longer is angry. She no longer holds resentment. She understands the truth. She loves justice, but she does it in a way with grace and knowledge and wisdom, not with manipulation, force, or aggression. Okay? So she has this state of awareness where she can hold and see what's wrong in the world, but she also knows what's right. And she knows that to right what's wrong, her approach with how she does this is everything, So I hope that makes sense to you. This is just an introduction on demystifying the divine feminine, what it takes to embody more of a healthy, strong feminine energy, and ways in which we can start to begin this process of becoming more permeable in our world as a strong, healthy feminine energy and creating things alongside of our masculine energy within ourselves and our counterparts out within the world so we can build structures that value both. Thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you soon.